Chiefs Kingdom, before we jump into today's Chiefs report, we're trying to catch up to last June in terms of new subscribers added on this channel. Picked up 311 last year. We're at 234 so far this year. A few days left in the month. Let's beat that number. Subscribe today. 100% free Chiefs content on a daily basis. I'm Harrison Graham from Chat Sports. Let's talk about Chiefs wide receiver Nikko Remigio as training camp gets going next month. ESPN named him as the surprise standout from spring, OTAs, minicamp, etc. And I kind of wanted to just, talk about his journey, who he is, and if he's got a shot to make this football team this year. So who is Nikko Remigio? Well, he went to Mater Dei High School in Santa Ana, California. For those who follow college football and certainly high school football close, one of the top programs in the country. He starred there, and doing so led him to being a four-star recruit in 2018. And I was surprised, as him being a UDFA out of a school we'll tell you about in a minute. I was like, man, I didn't realize how highly touted this guy was. He had 11 Power 5 offers, a lot of them on the West Coast, no surprise. Arizona State, Boston College on the East Coast, Cal, Colorado, Illinois offered him, Nebraska, Tennessee, a couple of big programs there, USC as well, UCLA, Wisconsin. So, these are real offers. He had a bunch of Group of 5 ones too, but those are the 11 Power 5 offers per 24/7 Sports. So, he was highly touted, he was highly regarded, and heavily recruited back in 2017 and ultimately in 2018. Speaking of college, shout out your favorite college football team, whether you went to school there or if you're just a fan, whatever the case may be. I went to TCU, so that's my squad. Let me know who your squad is down in the comments section below. So he chose Cal, commits to Cal, goes to Berkeley, and plays there for 4 years. And, he just never really got momentum there. His freshman year didn't play a ton. 2019, you were like, okay, this guy's arrived, over 500 yards, 3 touchdowns. 2020, only played in 4 games, had the injury, had an injury pop up. 2021 just, wasn't heavily involved in their offense. That injury kind of slowed his momentum in his true junior season. He only played in 4 games, though, so that allowed him to redshirt, and he was able to attain a 5th year, which we'll tell you about here in a second, as he transferred and kind of started to figure things out in his 5th college football season. All right, guys, we have this hat and T-shirt combo available right now on sale at chatsports.com/KCCombo. That is chatsports.com/KCCombo. Click and shop today. That link will be in the comments and in the description. Training camp around the corner if you plan on attending. Get yourself a new hat, new gear overall. chatsports.com/KCCombo. Okay, so he transfers to Fresno State, Group of 5 school, plays his 5th and senior season there, and has the best year of his collegiate career by a pretty wide margin, right? 74 catches, almost doubled his individual season record at Cal. 852 yards, easily a career high. 6 touchdowns as well, average over 11 yards per catch. Throughout college, he was a kick and punt returner as well. Did that pretty effectively, had a couple of return touchdowns throughout his 5 years of college football. And again, kind of put it all together there at Fresno, which was big for him and kind of gave him a shot, in the NFL after that. So it was cool to see him do that. High recruit, didn't work out at Cal, but at Fresno it did. And then he didn't get drafted. He was hoping to be a late-round pick, but the Chiefs identified him and signed him as an undrafted free agent in 2023. And listen, let's take a few moments here. Remember last offseason, OTAs? Well, first of all, rookie minicamp, it was like Nikko Remigio, and we're like, who the hell is this kid? Oh, it's this undrafted kid out of Fresno State. He's making plays left and right. OTAs, still making plays through 3 sessions of OTAs. Mandatory minicamp, still standing out, even though the vets are back. Training camp, making plays. Remember how many of these depth receivers were kind of making plays last year, like Amir Smith-Marset, Nikko Remigio. Remigio was right there in the mix. And then in the preseason opener, has 4 catches for 71 yards. Had a kick return as well. And you're like, this guy's got something. It's a crowded wide receiver room at the depth spots, but he might actually have a chance to make this football team this year. And at the end of the day, that didn't happen because he had an injury setback, kind of like his sophomore year at Cal, or junior year at Cal, I think it was. Suffered a shoulder injury, missed the final 2 preseason games. They ultimately cut him with an injury settlement, but no team picked him up, so they still had the rights to him. And now he's back. And guess what? He's doing what he did last year. Another strong OTAs, another strong mandatory minicamp for a second straight offseason. So it's just one of these things. It's like you kind of figure, oh, is this guy just going to fade away? It's like, no, he keeps making plays. And look, I get it. Like, you got a lot of depth and guys to compete with. And I've said it, your top 3, they're all locks, Rice, Brown, and Worthy. But after that, it's like Sky Moore, Justin Watson, Kadarius Toney, Justin Ross, Cornell Powell, Montrell Washington. It's a lot of guys, but I think he's right there in the mix to make this team, and I'm going to be pulling for him because he seems pretty easy to root for. I think Chiefs wide receiver Nikko Remigio has a real shot of making this 53-man roster. For a second straight offseason, he's really stood out in OTAs and minicamp. Last year, he also had a strong training camp as well, the one really good preseason game before suffering the shoulder injury. This year, we'll see. He's going to have to do it again at training camp, stay healthy, have some good preseason games, and we'll see what happens. After Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, and obviously Marquise Brown, I think this wide receiver group is up for grabs. Is Kadarius Toney going to put it together this year? Is Sky Moore? Is Justin Watson still a part of this thing? I think Remigio's got a real shot to make this 53-man roster. He's got returnability. New kickoff rule could help him as well. Keep an eye on Nikko Remigio at training camp this year. What do you guys think? Your time to weigh in on the show. Will Nikko Remigio make the Chiefs 53-man roster? Type Y for yes, or you can type in for no. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section of this video. And just a little bit of a rapid fire of his background to get to this point. Just recapping here. Mater Dei High School, big recruit, 4-star back in 2018 after starring on the West Coast in high school. Commits to Cal despite having a ton of Power 5 offers. Doesn't really work out there. Had one really good season, an injury the year after that, and he ultimately ends up transferring out to Fresno State. Has by far the best year of his collegiate career as a fifth-year senior in 2022. And then last year didn't get drafted, but signed with the Chiefs. Had that strong offseason. If he didn't get injured, maybe he would have pushed for a roster spot. But now a year later, he's back, he's healthy, and he's got a shot to really be a part of this thing. And I would just say this. If I'm the Chiefs calling these shots, etc. I get it. You traded a couple of picks for Kadarius Toney. You drafted Sky Moore in the second round. But if Remigio's better than those guys, and if he can give you value on special teams, why not give him a shot to make this 53-man roster? Just a word of advice, in my opinion. All right, that's going to do it for today's Chiefs Report. We're pulling for Nikko Remigio here on the channel. My name is Harrison Graham. We will see you guys soon. Take care.